It's a nice opportunity for me to connect with all of you. I have 1 hour with you, and I do hope that we'll make the most of it. I request every faculty to, to interact. If I'm asking questions, I would love to know your views and your ideas and, what your thought process is. So we'll get started today's session on opportunity evaluation. Now, yesterday, I'm sure you must have done, ideation. You would have learned some. Yes, can you hear me? Okay. Is it fine? I think
yes,
there's some
background.
Okay, there's some background sound. I didn't know what it was. So yesterday you would have done some sessions on ideation, understanding entrepreneurship, understanding what it takes to launch oneself onto this journey, right? But today I want to talk about, we may have plenty of ideas. Now, the excitement about having ideas is something else altogether. As faculty, you yourself come up with a lot of ideas. And as mentors to students, when students come to you with so many ideas, how will you know which idea to pick up and say that this is something that will ensure that you are able to get into a successful venture? Business is always unpredictable. Currently, in this particular situation of the pandemic, we realize how business has been hit, or the entrepreneur's journey, or how we need to have skills to shift based on market trends and things like that. But when you look at broadly entrepreneurship, you have to understand, while evaluating opportunities, it is very important, it is key to understand the entrepreneurial vision. Now, when I speak about entrepreneurial vision, it's about the passion. It's not just about the passion of the entrepreneur to end up doing what he or she loves and likes doing, but it is also the purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? That's a key question, right? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Whom am I doing it for? What is the purpose of this entire ideation that I have come up with and all these ideas that I have, right? And then, can I sustain this vision that I have based on my passion and my purpose, right? So please understand, there are 3 things when you look at the big picture. It is the passion, it is the purpose, and it is the vision. Now, coming down to so many ideas and evaluation of which idea do I pick from the 20 or the 10 or the 5 ideas that I have, my first question to all the participants here would be, if I came to you with a nice idea, I will tell you, I have 3 ideas, ma'am, I have 3 ideas, sir, and you help me understand which idea will work. What kind of thoughts will come into your mind, and what kind of questions will come into your mind? Anybody from the participant, you can unmute and you can speak. I would love to hear your thoughts. What kind of questions will first come to your mind? Anybody? I will come and tell you, ma'am, I have a restaurant business in mind. I want to develop an online, an e-commerce business. Okay. And then I have something in healthcare. I want to, start selling these masks, whatever. Okay. Now, asking you, ma'am, which ideas come to your mind? What? Please feel free. There is nothing right or wrong in entrepreneurship. It is just opinions. So You can always feel free to talk. Yes? Anybody? Any quick thought? All of you are faculty and now you're students, so it's like, I want to ensure you also enjoy this interaction. Please feel free to share your thoughts. What question might come up first? What question will you ask me? Should I look at some names? I don't know. Can someone just share? I would love to start with your ideas. Please let me know. I think last session we had a couple of faculty, start with some questions, which was very nice. So I would appreciate some answers here. What questions will you ask? Very simple if I come up with an idea. Basic questions.
Ma'am, some of the participants only arrived now.
Okay. Should I
Including
just,
me.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What's
Should
your
I just
question,
ask
ma'am?
again? Okay. I'll
Yeah.
wait for 2 minutes. A lot of them are arriving
Yeah.
now.
After the break, they just came
Okay.
inside.
For all those who have, all those who have arrived now, my question to you is, if I come up with 3 or 4 ideas to you, as faculty, I'm a student, and I come to you and say, ma'am or sir, I have these 3 or 4 ideas. What should I take ahead, to launch a venture? What are the few first basic questions that will come into your mind? What will you ask me? I will wait.
Okay. Maybe the first question, if anybody come to me
Yeah.
with some proposal,
Yes, sir.
the first and foremost is actually what is the opportunity for them to attract the investment through the particular idea.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Investment. How can I attract investment? Money is always the first thing when it comes to students. Always the question is, where will I get my funding? How do I start? How do I get? Yeah. Okay, investment is one big question. Very good. Anyone else? Thank you, sir, for starting out and volunteering. What other questions will come to your mind? Investment is one. Simple ideas.
Cost and uniqueness, madam.
Very good. Excellent, sir. Thank you. Cost and uniqueness. Always now, the cost factor is very important. The uniqueness, very, very key to make any, venture successful is, where am I unique? There are 10 other people now. While we are actually, sitting here and trying to brainstorm ideas, someone in some other part of the entire world will be having the same idea. So you have to understand, students or we get very excited about the idea and we cling to our ideas. Now, as entrepreneurs, the biggest mistake that we make is we think our ideas are the best ideas, our ideas, we have to take it forward, and no matter what, I am going to make it successful. Now, you have to understand from this point, from the entrepreneur's point of view. Now, why you're evaluating opportunities, please understand. Statistics have said that of startups fail in 1.5 years or 2 years of launching their ventures because they don't know how to get to the market. They don't know, how to convince customers. They don't have a proper idea to, to handle cash. All right, these are some of the reasons. So, thumb rule when it comes to evaluation of opportunities, you have to stop thinking about yourself. Any entrepreneur has to stop thinking about himself or herself, number one, and start putting himself or herself into the shoes of the customer. This is called the design thinking process of empathy, right? So I will also be introducing a few key processes and a few key concepts even while we are doing the evaluation of opportunities, which will help you understand your business model session much better, the next session that you have. All right. So here, when you're stepping into the shoes of the customer, you have to stop being biased about your idea. That is a thumb rule. Customers are kings and queens. So there will be some quick and dirty questions that you have to ask. Now, please understand, it is an evolution of an idea. Now, as you keep taking, 3 or 4 ideas forward, you are continuously evaluating it through the process as you develop the idea, and somewhere down the line, you say, bang, this is the one that I need to take forward. So what are those 3 or 4 or 5 questions, very basic questions, to launch the thought process of evaluating all the ideas that you have laid down and say that I want to pick one of these ideas? Let's look at which ones these are. Okay. Are all ideas opportunities? So these are the basic 5 questions. This was a theory that was conceptualized by a professor, an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur from Thammasat University, Thailand. His name, I forget his name, but yeah, Edward Rubesh is right down there, Edward Rubesh. And he says, these 5 Qs, it's called the 5 Qs rubrics, right? It says, what important customer problem can you solve? How many customers are there that are willing to buy from you? Why can only you provide the solution? How are you going to deliver this product and service? And how can you defend against others, right? So when you look at this, it all looks very, very simple. I will answer this question. What important customer problem can you solve? So even while we are trying to answer these questions, you have to think from a customer's point of view. Please understand that. You are thinking, you are putting yourself into the shoes of someone who needs to purchase or buy that product or service from your side. So while you're donning the hat of an entrepreneur, you are constantly trying to visualize. So visualization is very key here. So stop having these judgmental thought process. Sometimes we judge what others are trying to tell us as customers. So when you're doing the market research, trying to see which opportunity I need to take forward, then you understand, right, that it is not about me. I have to make things work from the market demand point of view. Let us look at each of these questions. What important customer problem can you solve? So here it is. How painful is the need of the customer? How much demand is there for what you have to offer as a product or service? And how valuable it? What kind of value are you creating in your product or service? Yesterday, you have done some kind of ideation exercise. Did you have any exercise on ideation yesterday? If so, can someone share any idea that you have? Let's look at it from that point of view. Any idea? Can any participant share a sudden idea that you want to take forward? Even now, you can come up with any idea. Anybody? Any
Hello.
quick idea? Let's discuss
Good
that.
afternoon, madam. Good afternoon,
Yes.
madam.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, madam. I
Hello.
want to go for
Yes,
online
we can
coaching
hear you.
classes. Hello.
Okay.
I
Okay. All right.
I want to go for online coaching classes,
Very good.
madam.
Okay. So we'll take this idea. Online coaching
So
classes.
how it would be possible? I have to serve.
Okay, your voice is breaking, but I think I understand what you're trying to say. You want to understand how do I take online coaching classes forward, correct? How will I
Yes,
know
madam.
whether it is a good idea? Thank you very much for sharing this. So let
Thank
us
you, madam.
look at these 5 Qs. Let us look at these 5 Qs. Now, when you look at the value that you're trying to create, now you have to understand these days, everything now is becoming online. So if you were to take your idea of coaching classes, number 1, right? Where the
madam.
demand is there. Now we know everywhere the demand is there, right? Now, where are you going to specifically create the value for your students?
Okay.
What is it that you want to coach on? Why is it
Are
that you feel? What is it that you feel? Yes, ma'am. You have something to say?
yeah, madam. The curriculum itself, because the students are asking, so I want to have this curriculum itself. I am a commerce department faculty and teaching in economics. So I want to prolong with that. So I was actually I had surveyed that what exactly online coaching classes, how I can take, or what would be the fee, because bandwidth problem is also there.
Okay. Okay.
So
your voice was breaking in between a little. What are some of the thoughts that made you think of this?
Because madam, actually what happened due to this online, no, everything is stopped.
Right.
So students are calling me that, madam, please start the online coaching classes. That's why I had this in my mind.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So now this is to do, there are 2 ways to look at it. One is you have an audience, which is already your set of students. Secondly, it could be a new audience for students who are not already in your batch, but already, I mean, they are outsiders, but they too also want coaching. So there is a model in which you're already doing it for your own students. There is a revenue model, which is an additional revenue generating model for you from outsiders who also want to understand accounts, okay, commerce or whatever subject you want to take. All right. Now, the value, now from a perspective of an entrepreneur or entrepreneurship, you are looking at it from a portion where, you know, I have so many 50 students, 100 students, I need to bring in, you know, that many more students from outside. How will I do it? Okay. Now your thought process is, how do I market? Who are my customers? I know immediately I have my students, but how can I bring in more customers? So remember, you need to change somebody's behavior to buy your product. Already the outside students are getting coached somewhere else. But there is something in you, in your coaching classes, where their benefit is much more than what they are already receiving. So what is that benefit you are giving or providing through your online coaching classes is something that you need to put down. How are you facilitating the online coaching classes? Now today,
Uniqueness, I want to say.
That uniqueness part of it. Now, if I were to be in your shoes, and if you ask me as a customer, then I will say, if I have to pay you as an outsider for your online coaching classes, one, I want to know how much impact and result it has created for the other students.
Yeah. Yeah. Impact.
Number one. Two,
Okay.
what is the mode in which, what is the methodology? Okay. What is the methodology? Are you going to just take classes, or are you going to give me assignments? Are you going to, measure my performance? Okay.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
what is the method? How do I teach?
Yeah.
Do I facilitate with discussions, interactions, videos? How do I do it? How do I make my online coaching classes interesting? The interest factor. See, now I am talking to so many participants. My screen has the PPT and nothing else. I don't know who is there in the audience at all. Problem for me.
Yeah.
If I were to, take it in a classroom, I would look at each of you, I would ask questions, and I would, have that interaction and discussion. All right. But now when I am dealing with all of you online, I need to create that interest. Why would you can, switch off your video, you can switch off your, microphone, and you can just sit back and for 1 hour, you can just take a nap. But what is it that will interest you? How can I engage all of you by asking you questions and have that interaction? Because I have this 1 hour, maybe I won't have the time to show a video. But if you include a blended technology method for your students, for your online coaching classes, that is going to be extremely beneficial to keep the interest level. That is the uniqueness. And how are you going to? Now, if you look at the platform for online, what platform are you going to use? Is that a platform if you have 20 students or 25 students? Can you give some kind of group activity? I'm saying all this because the organization that I am in, this is what we do when we have online classes. How do we make it experiential? So the key word here is, despite the fact that we are not face to face, how can I make this a real-time experiential experience for all the students? Okay. So that is where your uniqueness lies. Okay. So here you're trying to solve the problem of question number 1, how valuable and how painful. So please understand here that when we are looking at any idea, you have to understand that there is something called emotions, behavior, and thought process of the customers. Which means they buy or purchase your product knowing that there is a value or service, no value, and that value is not actually, is a perception. It is actually what they see, perceived value. Okay, I'll give you a very violent example out here. As a very top violinist, okay, world-renowned violinist. I'm sorry, this was just in a span of 1 week, this violinist had a span of 1 week. This tickets, okay, somewhere in the US or I don't remember where, but he's and it was entire sellout. So here the customers love music, they like that, they come, the theater is jam-packed, he finishes his thing. Then he says, I am so and so, but can I disguise myself? And then I go to the usual railway station, they go to that metro station, he is in disguise, okay? And then he starts playing the same violin. So he just keeps a bowl there for people to drop in, because they hear they will, contribute there. So he's trying to earn that way on the railway station. So he keeps a bowl there. And then as people pass by, some of them who want to offer something, they put in cents, 25 cents, 30 cents. So pennies are being put there. So you see the perception. Every customer will look at the perceived value. The same person who sold the ticket for $150, $100 is now on the platform, in disguise. And his same kind of, music is getting just a few pennies. So when you look at the big picture, it's very interesting to understand how you will tap into the emotions of customers, right? And we will look at some very critical factors towards the end of the session after the questions, where you understand how the entrepreneurial vision has to span out. Okay, you are changing somebody's behavior to buy a product. Now, if I were you, I was using either Airtel. Using, I have two numbers. Maybe I use Airtel. Jio has taken, yet Airtel still persists. The other telecommunication, whoever are the domain experts, they are still there. They're trying to see how to keep and sustain their customers. So here, when you're thinking about customer problem, you have to think from the big picture point of view, where you try to figure out, what is it that will help me achieve a bigger chunk of the market, starting small maybe, but how will I expand? Do you have an idea of how to look at growing or expansion of the market in 4 or 5 years, right? That is how you look at the number one question. So let's go to the next question. How are you going to deliver this product and service? Tomorrow you'll have a beautiful session on business model, but look at how this pans out. When you're ideating, when you're evaluating your ideas, what is my product or service? How am I going to get it into the hands of the customer? Where am I going to be located? Am I going to start my food restaurant business in the residential area that I have, because now is a good time to deliver home? And after this whole thing is over, will people still buy?
Ma'am, can you hear us, ma'am?
Ma'am,
Ma'am?
not able to hear you, ma'am. Ma'am, there is no sound.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are to, ma'am is, I think she has a connectivity problem. She will log in again, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you hear us, ma'am? Ma'am?